Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Blueshirt Barn. Tonight, everybody asks, where's Artemi Panarin going? Where is he going to end up? Where's he going next? You know what? And we're going to, everybody says, tell us something we don't know. Well, we're going to tell you everything you do know, but we're going to dig deep into why he should go here and why he should go there and where he's not going to go. We can tell you probably that too. So, Tom, start it off.
You keep hearing all this talk, and then you hear teams are in, teams are out. Like today, for instance, they say Seattle is all of a sudden like trying to get into this. They want to score. They need a big scoring winger. Okay. Obviously, that's a fit, but at the same time, he has the no trade. Does he
Hold on
want to go
one
to
sec.
Seattle?
Let's go to a couple teams. All right, let's do this. Let's go to a couple teams that we say that have a good running in this and a couple teams that don't. And then we'll give the description of why those teams are the front runners and why those teams are out. I think that would be good.
Yeah. Like, for instance, Washington obviously is a fit. They say Washington's already offered him a contract. Ovechkin's there. They're willing to do an extension. So Washington's a natural fit. Carolina, another one. They're saying they're willing to, work with him, whatever. They're willing to do an extension with him. They kind of got burned in the whole Rantanen thing last year. They traded for him, and then he was like, no, I'm not staying here. So would they be a fit? But everyone, more than one person keeps saying he ultimately would love to go to Florida. Now, can Florida make it work? With an extension, too? I don't know. You know what I mean?
What teams do you think are out?
I mean, obviously you hear teams like Utah and stuff like that are, I would imagine he wouldn't want to go there. Like I said, Seattle was a team that popped up today. Not sure he would want to go, but then the question bears, does he really care about winning a championship, or does he just want his $50 million?
Yeah.
So if Seattle says, hey, we'll give you that 5-year extension, we don't care. You know what I mean? Will he say, hey, all right, I'll waive it and I'll go to Seattle?
Dallas. I think Dallas is out because they're going to try and sign Robertson, so they're
Of course,
out.
they should. He's also 8 years younger, and he's a really good player.
Yeah.
So
Anaheim's sniffing around, but I think they're out. And we'll kind of break it. Listen to this.
The Kings,
Yeah.
the Kings, like, are they in or are they out? You know what I mean? Like,
Here's the big question that everybody's talking about and why we're going to tell you why it's going to work and why it's not. He's 34 years old. The Rangers offered him, 2 years at 15?
2 years, 15
million. So
like
$7.5 million a year. Here comes the loyalty part, because he said that, I didn't expect to be sitting here looking at, my team while, watch my team play while they're making phone calls to trade me. Where's the loyalty, in this team? Well, they gave you the loyalty. Andre Kopitar took less years and less money to stay with the Kings. He could have. What's that?
John Tavares took less money to stay with Toronto.
He could have done the same thing, and that would have been loyalty to the Rangers. So it goes both ways. But he wants $50 million in 5 to 6 years, right? That was what it was, 5 to 6 years? 4 to 6 years, sorry.
4 to 5. He doesn't care how it's structured, but he wants basically $50 million,
right.
They're saying.
So he wants $50 million over 4 years. What these teams are having trouble with is the same thing that the Rangers are having trouble with. You're going to give a dude who's 34 years old 5 years. What if he gets hurt? What if he doesn't score? What if something happens? Those are the what if factors that why these teams aren't doing it. And there's a couple teams that are sniffing pretty hard, like Carolina. They may be able to do the extension. Anaheim's out. They can't do it. Dallas, they want him.
Colorado's out.
Dallas
is out.
There's a lot of teams that don't want to give him that, and he's a great player, and he's starting to kind of see that the Rangers aren't just not being loyal to him. The other teams are saying the same damn thing that the Rangers said.
As far as being loyal, though, obviously they want to facilitate a trade, the Rangers. But here's the thing: they're letting his agent and his people talk to other teams while he's still under contract with the Rangers.
Yes.
So they're trying to work with him, and obviously he's trying to work with them. So I think they've been somewhat loyal to him, and in fairness to him, he's been somewhat loyal. But like I really don't know. Look, he's been a great free agent signing. Regular season, he's led the team in scoring. We've gone over this every year he's been here. We get it. Playoffs, not as good, but been probably the best free agent signing the Rangers have ever made, ever, in the history of their team. But at the same time, what have you won with him?
Yeah, nothing.
You've won a President's Trophy, and you've been in 2 conference finals. So I'm not saying it's bad, but at the same point in time, you haven't even been to a Cup final. So, and as much as I can't stand Chris Drury and I want to see him get axed and be the hell out of here, I can't blame him for sitting there and saying, hey, look, I have to retool this team and you're not going to be part of the future. I have to move you and try to get you out of here and get what I can for you. I don't really have a big problem with that. I really don't. And look, at the beginning of the year when he offered him that contract, that Panarin came back and said, you know what? If we could bump that up to $9.5, $10 million for 3 years or something, maybe we get a deal done. I don't know.
I was just going to ask you, what do you think it would have taken to get that deal done?
Was there dialogue from the Rangers or dialogue from Panarin? That I can't tell you. And I don't know if anyone can tell you that besides him and his agent. But a lot of people say his agent is driving this thing. So, obviously the agent gets the commission, so we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure the agent wants him to get 50, 60, whatever he can get. You know what I mean?
Of course, that's money in his pocket.
That's money in his pocket. So, look, it's not a great situation. And one thing here for Drury, he has to get him out of here now because you cannot have him here after the trading deadline. You have to get him out of here, or you're going to have another Trouba disaster on your hands where he's here. Yeah, well, you see this, and then you lose him for nothing July 1st. Like, if Drury loses him for nothing July 1st, he should be terminated that day. Gone.
Well, here's a little thing that I'm going to say, like, where you said he should be terminated. But what if all the other teams are thinking the same way Drury's thinking, and nobody ends up giving him an extension or signing him? Then this is not Drury's fault in a way because all the other teams are thinking the same exact way, and they don't want to take that chance on a 34-year-old. So he ends up walking anyway because the other teams are like, nah, I think it's too rich, it's too much. We can't do it. Sorry.
Everyone, a lot of guys around the league keep saying teams are willing to go that 3 years, no problem. That 4th and 5th year seems to be a sticking point. People say Washington's already offered like a 3-year, $30+ million deal to get him. I don't know if that's 100% true or what, but they say it's out there. Carolina, I don't know how far they're willing to go, but
we have 2 more games before the Olympic break here. What is that?
I agree with you too.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
And then there's a 2-week freeze.
He's going to be gone, dude. He's going to be gone before the season
honestly,
starts.
If he's still a Ranger by Monday, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's going down, people. Like, I said it in a video, and somebody said, tell us something we don't know. Things are going to move fast. No. This is coming. He's going. And it's going to happen before this Olympic break because they need him to be moved. They need to clear that cap space, and they need to start, getting, like Tom says, it can't have another Trouba situation. It's going down.
And the other thing here is the team that's acquiring him, don't you want him in your building before that Olympic break starts? Because then you can get him acclimated to the coaches, this, that, and the other thing, the system they're playing. All that kind of stuff. You want him sitting in mothballs for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Like,
yeah, no,
I doubt
don't want that. Kevin Weeks, I got a post here I thought was funny because Kevin Weeks says, per sources as of today, I think this was 2 days ago, I'm told that the following teams have expressed interest in Panarin.
Everyone in the league.
Yeah, Anaheim, LA, San Jose, Vegas, Dallas, Utah, Colorado, Minnesota, Seattle, Toronto, Carolina, Washington, Tampa Bay, New York Islanders. Okay, anybody else? The whole rest of the league there? Come on,
And
man.
listen,
Everybody wants
like,
a part of this, but they don't
the
want to pay.
The Islanders obviously they're trying to get in, and they're trying to get into the playoffs, or they're going for it. I get that, but to rent him, but I mean to give him that contract extension, like, I don't know.
Well, that was a lot of other teams wanted to bring him in as a rental.
Like
but
Tampa Bay, for instance, not to interrupt you, sorry.
That's all right, go ahead.
Tampa Bay, for instance, like, he's got friends on that team. They hang out together in the offseason. They're buddies and stuff like that. Can Tampa Bay extend him at that kind of money? I kind of doubt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of teams can't. And like even Florida, for instance, you got a lot of like high end players on there, like older players. Now, with Barkov possibly coming back and stuff, like how's your cap space going to be? Even that they don't have state taxes and stuff. How are they going to pay for it?
Regardless of that, they're going to have to send salary back to the Rangers if they acquire him.
Right.
If that was the case. Like one guy put it, they're going to have to do some cap gymnastics to pull this off.
Right. And then he becomes a rental, and they're going to have to move some cap space or get rid of him or get rid of somebody else at the end of the year.
Exactly.
So he's in a situation where he wants to go there, but it's going to be impossible. There was another team I had on here that wanted him as a rental, but it may have been Dallas or Anaheim.
I believe Dallas was a team, and they say Dallas is a team that he would entertain as a rental because I guess he thinks they're a good team.
Right.
But like the whole thing with him going to Florida, and they say that's where he really wants to be. Like you say, next year they're gonna well we got him and we extended him, but so now somebody else has to go.
Yeah,
that's all it boils down to.
Who's out? Barkov, Bennett, Marchand. Like who goes? You know what I mean?
Barkov is out. Like
well, I'm just saying, like you got to move somebody. Is it going to be Panarin?
Marchand? Yeah. And maybe in Florida, would he take less money because of the no state income tax? Maybe he would. I don't know. Again, he seems to be very motivated by money, so
Yeah,
who knows?
That's
maybe he'll take.
Maybe
he takes a deal to San Jose if they'll give him that fourth year or whatever.
Yeah,
like I'm not sure.
It is kind of sad though that he couldn't work with the Rangers and kind of say, hey, we'll give you 2 years at $9 million a year. And then we'll reevaluate in another 2 more years. And if you're still scoring and putting numbers up, and we get far in the playoffs or we win, we're going to extend you out again. Like, it's I don't know. He's a good player, and I hate to see him go.
Great player.
But again, it's going to take probably, like we were talking about, a minimum 2 years before we get, something underway to be playoff bound again.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in for all this talk and trade talk and all this stuff, and I'm sure there's going to be more coming. And like I said, check us out on YouTube, check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We're all over the place. And again, thank you. Everyone have a great night, great weekend, and we'll see.
New merch.
New merchandise. Yeah. I forgot to wear my hat because I was downstairs. Sorry.
New merch.
Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. And everyone have a great weekend. And like I said, we'll be on here again soon talking to you about a little hockey and stuff like that. Take it easy, everybody.
All right. Peace out.